Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals, and I'm excited to finally launch the Bible Journal course, which is an add-on to the Psalms journaling course, which I started in February. And I'll share in this video all information about the Psalms course, the Bible course, and how they are now combined onto the one website. It's starting April 1st, and I'll just share a bit about my journey of how I've been doing this, what's changed, what's been working, all that kind of stuff, what I've been learning. And I'll leave the link down below to the Bible Journal course if you are interested in being part of it for April and beyond, if you want to go for longer. But basically, I'm reading through the Psalms, so I'll continue doing that and put up a separate video for the Psalms as I keep reading those. And then I'll add another video where I read through a book of the Bible, and I'm going to go from the shortest books of the Bible to the longest. This is something that I did last year, and I got through about 33 or so books last year. So for a good solid month or so, I read a different book of the Bible every day, and a whole book, which was just so enriching. It was so good to get an overview of the whole book and just see how it flowed and the main point of the whole book. And I just found it really, really good to do that. And so ever since I did that last year, I knew I wanted to do it again. But when I did it last year, I didn't journal. I literally just read it. It was one of my daily practices where before I went to bed, I would end the day or end the night by reading a book of the Bible and then journaling in my prayer journal, and then that would help me get to sleep. So this time what I want to do is read through the books of the Bible, but this time I want to spend more time in reflection, really ask the question, how is this speaking to me? What is this? What am I curious about? Where are my questions in this book? What do I want to explore deeper? What is God telling me through this book? What is just sparking my interest? That kind of thing. And then focusing just maybe on one point, and journaling about that, where I want to go in deeper, what questions I have, or how it's speaking to me, that kind of thing. And in this particular one, I want to do more of I'm going to attempt to do more of a creative journaling style. So this one, all I'm doing is, it was supposed to start out as a creative journaling thing where I'd add photos and add the papers and the washi tapes and things. And I did a bit of stamping. I did a bit of that if I had the appropriate piece. But in the end, it just turned out to be just writing. And that's cool. That helps me. I love just having the written journey recorded. But in this one, I want to challenge myself and actually do more of a arty spread and just see how it goes. There's no pressure. If it doesn't work, if it's too time consuming or just not helping me, not benefiting me doing it that way, then I'll just go back to writing. But yeah, I want to do some highlighting and maybe some different colors. I want to do maybe even some drawing or adding pretty papers and things, and maybe doing some sort of art journal page around the key theme that's speaking to me. Since I'm going to be looking at a whole book, I could cover the entire page. Otherwise, yeah, we'll just see how we go. That's the whole point of this journey. Is it's a very slow paced, relaxed way of doing it. And really letting ourselves spend time in this quiet time daily, and just spending that slow time connecting with God, reading his word, knowing it deeper, getting to know God deeper, and that kind of thing. And so use whatever method helps you. If reading is just what you want to do, just read. If it's writing in a separate notebook or a separate journal to do a devotion or something, or a prayer journal, writing out your prayers in response to the Psalms and the Bible reading, or whether you want to do the whole shebang, art journal, junk journal, scrapbook, whatever. It's all about doing what works for you to help you enhance your own journey with God. And you can adapt and change it, it doesn't have to be the same. And I said daily, part of my journey with this, I did do daily in most of February, but then life happens and unexpected things happen, and I needed to take out some time for self-care for 1 or 2 weeks there. And so for that time, I did stop filming for this course. I continued doing my daily readings, but I just wasn't up to filming during that time. And so I caught up later on. And what I found when I caught up later on was rereading the Psalms was really beneficial. So instead of keeping on going and trying to fit like 5 Psalms in one day, or, you know, three or something like that to catch up, which is what I originally tried to do, I just found it really nice just to reread a Psalm, and that would be enough for that day. And then rereading it a third time, maybe even. So there's no pressure to have to read a certain book or a certain Psalm or a certain passage this day, this day, this day. Just go where you're led. If you're, like for me, if a question kept coming up or a theme really needed to sink in and was really encouraging me and speaking to me, I might want to sit in that Psalm for multiple days, and that's okay. And then, you know, again, life happens. Self-care is a huge priority of mine this year. And, you know, I say daily, but if that's going to be too stressful, we just want a starting point. More than 0 is enough. So, you know, if you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it daily, and then you miss a day, don't be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. I've missed days, whether it's been just like clear forgotten. There have been days I've just absolutely forgotten about doing this. Other days where just the busyness of life has gotten in the way. And sometimes I've been able to do it, but haven't been able to film because of, you know, I have to film when the right circumstances, you know, the lighting, the noise factor. I try to film during the morning and early afternoon when there's no one at home, basically. But yeah, anyway, and there's no banging or brush cutting or chainsaws going on in the background next door or whatever. So, you know, there's challenges of life. All to say, we're aiming for daily, but if it's every second day, if it's every third day, if it's once a week, it's all good. And basically what I do in the videos, I read out a Psalm. And when it comes to the books of the Bible, I'll read out the book of the Bible. When the books get a bit longer, I might just read out the chapter that's speaking to me most. But if that's all you want as well, if you just want to have it, some people listen while they're on the way home from work, like driving, and some just listen while they're doing their, you know, housework or whatever. And that might be enough for you just to get a bit of soul food to nourish your soul. And that's what this is all about, finding what works for you, and better than 0 is good enough, you know. If you're hungry, if you just want to know God more, if you just want to know what His Word says more, and you know, see how it can shape our lives, that's the biggest thing I've gotten out of this. You know, I thought I was just going into this to know a bit more about God and know a bit more about the Bible and connect with Him greater through His Word, which, yes, all of that has happened. But what I've really found, it's actually helped me so much in my life. And no matter what I've gone through, the Psalms have been, you know, speaking to me and really encouraging me, because so much of the time I can just fall into my natural default mode, and when circumstances come, I can think of my own thoughts and feelings get in the way, basically. And reading the Psalms daily, every second day, whatever it is, rereading, whatever it is, has really helped my well-being and my mental health, honestly. And that's been the greatest benefit. Anytime I've been like, oh no, this is terrible, or I've been overwhelmed or whatever it is, as soon as I read the Psalm, I'm like, oh, okay, I've got perspective now, and oh yes, remember that truth, and oh, God is bringing light to this situation. And okay, I'm encouraged now, I'm strengthened, and okay, the situation hasn't changed and it's still going to be challenging, but I am encouraged now to endure and to go through this. And that's been the biggest thing I've gotten out of this. Again, it's not, I keep saying this, it's not huge, mind-blowing revelations day after day after day, but it's this slow-paced, gentle, calming, refreshing, relaxing encouragement daily, which has just been wonderful, and why I've kept going with it. Because, you know, I could have just done it for February, but I want to keep going with it. And even when I finish the Psalms, I want to go back to the start, because every time I reread them, it will either speak to me in a different way, or it will speak to me even in a greater way in the same way, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so I'm keen for this, and hope that you are too. If this is speaking to you and you just feel like, you know, maybe you feel like you're going through a bit of a desert or a bit of a winter, or just lost track with your Bible reading or your relationship with God, or you know, whatever, wherever you're at, if this is speaking to you and is soul nourishing, what I'm doing is making it super affordable. The cheapest option is $2, so you know, the cost of a cup of coffee. And then the first part of the Psalms is actually free, so the first 50 Psalms is free, and that will always be just there available if you want to go back to the first 50 and watch those videos and follow along. You can join in any time. You know, you can join mid-month, you can join any month, because I'll have it going throughout the year. It's just there for whenever you need it. And there is a $2 option, a $5 option, and a $15 option, which is a half price option. And like I said, the first 50 will be free. And I was hoping to do it all free, and eventually I will think about that more. That's my intention. But I just found I still need that accountability for the filming part of it. I can do my reading on my own, but for the filming, if I'm going to go to that effort and that energy of setting it all up and doing all of this, finding the time and all of that, I really need to know that people are watching. At the moment, I have no idea if anyone is watching the videos, because on the course website, it doesn't show you the view count of the videos. And I sometimes feel like, oh, why am I even doing this video if no one's even watching, when I could just do this in my quiet time on my own. So if no one is interested and if no one is watching, then yeah, for my own well-being, I'm just going to literally do this in my own time. If I don't need to film a video, I won't. But if this is going to be something that is going to be helpful for you, and that's the other thing I have found too, was I really enjoyed it when I did know people were watching, because there was this sense of community. There was this sense of we're doing this together. There's this sense of we're getting to know God deeper together. And we're not meant to do this Christian life alone. We're not meant to do life alone at all. And, you know, the Bible is designed to be read together, and to talk about it and dialogue together. So that community aspect, that was something that came up and that I learned through doing this course as well, is, yeah, that's really needed. So, yes, we can do it in our quiet time, of course, but there's that community benefit that adds so much more. It makes it even richer. And gives so much more into our lives. So I hope that the $2 option is super affordable for anyone who would like to join. And that's literally just a way for me to find out, is anyone even joining me in this? Is anyone going to be watching these videos? Is there a point to me putting up these videos, or should I just do this by myself in my quiet time? And yeah, hopefully as well, though, it gives you the opportunity to be accountable, have community, if you want that. And often, yeah, I find it helps having someone else's words. So yes, I could do this on my own, but sometimes I like having someone else's words to show me something different about the scripture, and to encourage me with something in life or whatever it is. And I, you know, sometimes I share a personal story of how it relates, or sometimes I share a lesson that I learned through this or something like that. And I'm always trying to share what I'm learning in my journey, but also to encourage you on yours and meet you guys where you're at too. So that's that aspect too. When I'm filming, it's not just for me. I am thinking about who's watching and trying to meet you guys where you're at and speak truth and encouragement into your lives too. So yeah. All that to say, that's why I've set up the tiers like that: $2, $5, $15 option. The first 50 Psalms are free. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me. My email's in the description box below. And just hope it's super nourishing. I found it so nourishing for my own life, and I hope that you find it just as nourishing in your life. So I'm not actually sure if I'm going to be journaling in here. I'm going to try it. I am going to try it. But if it's just not working, if this is just too bulky, I've been umming and ahhing. I've been like, yes, I'm going to use it. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And if it just gets too hard working here, because it is just so heavy and so cumbersome, it shouldn't be hard to, you know, do this. So I'm going to make it as easy as possible for myself. So if that's just too cumbersome, I'm going to do my journaling in here and my arty pages in here. But yeah, I'll give it a go in here. This is what it's all about, just seeing what works for you, seeing what journaling style works for you, what time of day works for you, what Bible works for you, which way your method of reading works for you. We're just journeying together, finding out what works for us. And it's just a nice, low pressure, calm, quiet, slow, gentle way of doing this. And I hope it is just, that for you, soul nourishing. Okay, rambling on long enough. I think I've covered everything. Link to the course website is down below in the description box. You can join anytime because you're charged on it's a monthly thing like Spotify or Netflix works the same way. So you're charged on the date that you sign up, which is great until you cancel. So that's why I say stay on for as long as it's nourishing you. And then, hopefully for all of us, it builds a practice for us where we no longer need this course. We need a course or accountability to keep us going. When I first began the course, I did have a financial setup because I needed that to be work like a gym membership for myself. Okay, put in the money, now I've got to show up and now I've got to do this. That's why I keep the higher $15 option too, in case anyone is like, I know that the $2 option is not going to cut it for me. But if I've got money in the game, now I got to show up. Now I got to actually do this. And that's okay if you need that strategy. I need that strategy. I definitely need that sometimes. Otherwise, free courses, I'm all well and intentioned. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this journaling course. It's free. I found it on Google. I'm going to sign up and do it. And then I don't do anything. When I have to pay $30 for a course, you bet I'm doing it. So I prefer the courses that I have to sign up for because it actually makes me to do it. Anyway, that works for me. So I thought there was one other thing I was going to say. But yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to ask if I have forgot anything. Oh, I guess the other reason that I've got the $15 option is too, and the higher options is just if anyone wants to support me in what I'm doing here and keep me doing this. If you are getting something out of it and want to help me keep doing this, then that definitely helps me keep doing this because I know that people are getting something out of it and think it's worth it. So I'll keep doing it as long as people are getting something out of it. All right, guys, I hope you're doing well and hope you are excited about getting into your word. I know lots of you already are doing your own Bible plans and studies and your own methods. Feel free to share them in the comments because maybe your method is going to be the thing that resonates with people. It's just about trying different things. I've shared a video on the course website about my my Bible reading history as well and different methods I've tried and talking about my journey with that. And don't give up. If you've tried and failed to try to find a method, you try chronological, or you try a Bible in a year, or you try one psalm and one gospel, and you tried all the methods and nothing's worked, keep trying. Keep looking around, keep trying to find things that work. Maybe you need to actually meet up with people face to face. Maybe you need a Bible study group. Maybe you need a devotional. That way you can read it through devotional, where the readings are in the devotional itself. Journaling is what helps me, so that's why it's a journal course, because it actually creates time for reflection, not just reading, but actual reflection and journaling our thoughts and journaling our journey, so that we add our story to God's story and it becomes this extra living, breathing book. And that idea of, I can read the Bible and just read it, but often when I do that, it just goes in one ear, out the other. It's when I actually take the time to reflect and then journal that sinks in. So that's why it's a journal course, if you're wondering why we're not just reading. And of course, we're journalers here. We are journalers here. It's a tool. It helps. I love journaling. And the great thing is you have a record of your journey with the journaling, which is so good, because so easily we forget the lessons we've learned. We forget what we've learned. We forget what God has been speaking to us about. So that's why it was good when I was rereading too, because not only was I rereading the Psalms, but I was rereading, that's what I highlighted and that's what I wrote about that passage. And remember that? You only learnt that 2 days ago and you forgot because of circumstances. Like, right. My own words spoke to me back, because sometimes it's your own words that can be like, they're the things that really, in your own words, all over the place now, but they're resonating with you because they're in your own words. Anyway, all to say, journaling is wonderful, reflection is wonderful, reading the word is wonderful, getting to know God is wonderful. I'm excited for this journey. Head on over to the course website, and we are going to keep on going with the Psalms and start with the shortest books of the Bible to the longest. And I'll see you over there. Bye, guys.